Hello to both of you from Toronto. How's it going so far today?
So
Hi,
far, so
Bob.
good.
Great. Listen, I absolutely love this series. I sat and watched all 6 episodes all at once. And Bob, I want to start with you because I love seeing you in this role. And I wondered what it was about this material when you were first presented it. What was your initial reaction to it?
I loved it. I thought it was smart. I thought it was different, and I was really happy. And that was my reaction. My one bad reaction was it was the middle of January when we were going there, and I was like, "Am I ready to wear that many masks and to be that terrified?" And I'm glad I did it. Although
Well,
it was
I'm
scary.
yes, I know because yes, you guys did shoot during COVID, and Nana, I want to ask you that because you were lucky that you guys were able to get it together and be able to shoot this. But when you're doing something like a show like this with such a great cast, do you find shooting during COVID all that? Did it bring you guys closer together? Did it make a difference?
It brought us 6 feet closer together. It was tough because we had to be so conscientious of everybody's space and not contaminating other people and wearing our masks and keeping our distance. And the COVID protocols were really strict, but even throughout that, we managed to bond and chat and and kind of fellowship. So that was really lucky. So I can't wait, if we do it again, like to see everybody with less PPE and
Yes, yes.
and more bonding, even
The
more
day
bonding.
is coming. The day is coming. When you guys shoot season two, I think it'll be all better. Bob, I want to ask you, this guy that you play, you seriously, this professor, who didn't have a professor or a teacher like him? I mean, there's always one in the bunch. And my son is a teacher right now, and we're dealing with this exact situation where he has to deal with the older teachers who are basically stuck in their ways. Did you find in any way that you related to him, or did you know anybody like him?
Well, I know myself, and I'm a little bit like him. I'm sorry to say, although I would try not to be like him. I couldn't help myself somehow. I was very lucky. I went to an odd little school in Chicago that was appeared to be the opposite of progressive, and yet for those days when I was in it, it was enormously progressive, and I loved my English teacher, who was very interested. He was very interested in what we really had to say, and my French teacher, although I play an English teacher, our French teacher, one of our midterm exam questions was to describe a scene from a French movie, give it a review in French. I mean, that's something that Nana's character would have asked somebody to do.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. And Nana, I want to ask you, I mean, you're having this kind of a little bit of a combative relationship with Bob's character because yes, you're you want to be progressive, you want to move on, and these kids want to learn, and there's so much. But listen, being combative with Bob Balaban, seriously, could anything be better in your life?
I definitely hit the jackpot for sure, Bonnie. It was also hard because like after some of our scenes, I wanted to like hug Bob and be like, I don't mean it, like it's fine, and I know you don't mean it, but 6 feet.
Well,
I
that
get
was
it.
a
I get
sort
it.
of
But Nana, yeah. But
it
you
was
look, you are working with an improv pro here. I mean, seriously, Bob, I bow down to everything that you've given us over the years.
well,
What
thank
is it
you.
like what do you learn from a guy like this?
Oh God. What don't I learn? I mean, we you not only I think there's something so lovely about Bob because he's so generous as an actor, and because yes, he is an improv master and he could have run circles around me, but instead he chose to engage with me, and therefore I think that helped elevate the scenes. So I think that generosity was a big thing that I took away from working with Bob.
Can we just say something about Nana right now?
Yes,
At
you
one point,
can.
at one point we were doing a scene together, and I loved working with her, and she's brilliant, and we all know that.
Yeah.
The director said to her, "Now just say this in your own words, make up some stuff about blah blah." And I sat there with my mouth wide open as Nana did what I don't even remember how much of it is in the movie, but she went on for about 3 minutes of the best dialogue, the easiest, truest, wonderful dialogue, and I'm like, why am I here? Let her just talk. Please don't have anything to talk. But it's,
No, it's just wonderful to watch all of you in this show. And Bob, like I said, you have worked with so many greats over the years. But come on, let's just give credit to Sandra Oh in this role. Oh my goodness. Tell me, Bob, first off from you, what you enjoyed working with her.
well, she is a complete team player, even though she's a giant star in all of her own rights. She is just working with you and you're working with her and you forget immediately that you've seen her 1,000 times before. And I loved everything I got to do with her. We even had some minor little thing where I was struggling with my gown that it was incorrectly fitted for graduation. And she came over and she started helping me with it. It's like, it's just perfect. It's so easy working with her. And she makes it look so easy that it's a magic trick.
Yeah, Nona, how about for you?
Yeah, Sandra is a consummate professional. She's yet another gloriously kind Canadian, just adding to the list
That's okay.
of, the roster of kind Canadians. She is, and yeah, team player, like Bob said. I think that's like the great thing when you're, number one on the call sheet, like you set the tone. And even though we were shooting during a very difficult time and, tensions were high in some ways, it was also like, she was a consummate professional. She, set the standard, and it was a generous, kind, loving set, even though we were shooting in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we did all have a common enemy.
Yeah.
COVID as your enemy is a funny sort of bonding thing. We
Yeah.
are all going through something together, a lot scarier than doing the movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Despite there's so much humor in this, but of course there's some, obviously some drama in this series. It's a great mixture. Bob, I want to ask you, why do you think the education system makes good fodder for comedy?
Because it hasn't been done much yet in any long-term way like this. Everybody I know who's heard about this thing is like, at last somebody's doing this. And Amanda and everybody else did this. It's not a tutorial about anything. It's a black comedy because that's the way it really is. There's something funny about it, there's something true about it, and there's something awful about it. And it's a mixture. And from what I've seen of the movie, I call it a movie, it's a very long movie, it's a 6-hour movie.
Really? No, it's like 3 hours because it's 6 episodes.
That's right, 6 episodes, 30 minutes.
But it's
3-hour movie.
never buffoony, but it's never falsely emotional. It just strikes a brilliant tone, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and how about for you? What do you feel? Because it's as Bob says, we really don't get to see this that often, and there's so many of us who stand behind and we go like, the education system. There's something wrong here, and I love how it's handled in this show.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have friends who, I have friends that went like the finance route. I have friends that went the creative route. And then I have friends that went into academia, and seeing their kind of trials and tribulations over the years, as they've had to kind of fight for their space, to kind of own their space in these very, calcified institutions that don't want to change, that don't want to move forward. And obviously we've seen these things play out in real time in the news, with who is getting tenure, who isn't getting tenure,
Right.
like critical race theory, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I think we came in just under the wire, and it ended up being like a national dialogue that we're having about the way that we teach. And so I think that that's just another hat tip to Amanda's brilliance of bringing the show to the fore at this time.
Absolutely. Like I said, I just loved it. And just to wrap up, Bob, I got to ask you, because I know, like I said earlier, you've given us so many fantastic performances. I don't think there's anything I haven't seen that you're in. But I got to go back, and I'm looking forward to French Dispatch. Wow, I can't wait for that. But have you been in touch with Christopher Guest? Are you guys all going to get together and give us another movie? Come on, really. I need one so badly.
We did get back together a couple of times, once for a little series that I don't think anybody watched, but it was really fun to do. My guess is Chris has moved on. Not from us as people, because we still stay in touch with each other and everybody's pretty much friends. But, you think you're great friends and then you realize you get together and it's been 4 years since you talked to each other.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful group. I think he stopped when he was ahead. If
Right.
he continued to do it, he would have wrung himself out. And
Yeah.
either whether he knew it instinctively or intellectually, it was time to stop, I think.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't want him more, maybe.
never say never, right? I got to hold on to something. But for now, we've got the chair. It's so fantastic to see you guys in this. Really, I can't recommend it enough. And I really do appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Have a good rest of your day.
Well, we
Bye-bye.
love Canada. I have to say that very quickly as we leave, even if we've left. I've worked a bunch there, and it is
Yes.
different there, and it's great.
Well, we welcome you back with open arms. I think the border is now officially open again today, so you have no excuse.
Not this week, anyway.
Yeah, not this week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.